Have you ever done any April Fool's pranks? Know someone in prison, get them released early by voting for them. The prisoner with the most vote will also win a holiday.
That's got like a Running Man vibe to it. You ever seen Running Man?
No.
Of course you haven't seen Running Man.
He's got a massive dong, you know. I bet Adam's got a fucking piece on him.
I need some money for bail. Can you come down and help me? And I'm like sending like crying emojis and stuff like that. So my mum calls me. She's like, Adam, oh my God, what's going on? And I kept it going for maybe about a minute. And then I'm like, Mum, what date is it? She's like, what do you mean what day is? I'm like, what's the date today? She's like, oh, you bastard. Hi, madam.
And I'm Josh.
He smells minty fresh, but I could use a wash. It's the Breaking Bread podcast. It rhymes, you know. So I don't know, man. I didn't really have time to think about some kind of clever
George,
intro.
you're a music. Did that rhyme?
No, that didn't rhyme.
I'm Adam, and he's Josh. He smells minty fresh. I could use a wash.
Oh, yeah, maybe it does, yeah.
What, you didn't go to rhyming school? What's wrong with you?
What?
You're not going to get a record deal with Jay-Z, are you?
Thanks, everybody that's listened, because clearly everybody will have just switched off at that point.
See you later.
Bye, see you next week.
How's it going? How's it going, mate?
Mate, it's good. I'm all right. How are you doing? That's a nice jumper, that. Is it All Saints?
Yeah, I wore it specifically so you could give me some grief for having an All Sense.
It is really nice.
I don't have many vices in life, right? But the older I get, the more I really enjoy jumpers, sweaters, knitwear, you know, especially because this studio is never warm. It's never even remotely temperate. I've got to come in here and I need to be comfortable. So yeah, I treated myself to a nice little sweater from All Saints, yeah. Yeah, and the guy there actually knows me, so I don't get any discount or anything, but it's a nice bit of chit-chat with another human being. It doesn't mention dicks or, you know, or anything like that. What I was going to say is I got a nice little... You like to say probably not, right?
If there's a new listener, listener listening to this, like, what?
I wouldn't normally say that, right? But it's because Josh over here...
Did you say I didn't even...
I did, yeah.
I didn't even notice.
In your head.
My co-host over here often remarks about... sexual organs. I got a nice email this week from somebody called Bumble Crotch Sniffer saying, dude, I fucking hate your guts. Finally, please stop for real. Fuck off. I'm not going to fuck off, Bumble Crotch Sniffer, but thanks for the email. Yeah, appreciate it. Cheers. How's your week been?
Whoever can Bumble Crotch Sniffer email me, because I want that. I'll buy that email address off you. That's fucking class, isn't it?
Yeah, I might get it. I might frame if we put it up on the wall. And
my week's been fantastic. Actually, it's been a good week. I'm feeling positive in the world. George, we've got potentially got some exciting news coming, which we can share in future episodes. Hopefully, we can move out of this place.
Put the fists away, man.
Sorry,
I'm nervous.
But I've been out making you nervous. Yeah, I've been out filming this week. Done a bit of filming with my Rolex dealer client. Then yesterday we were filming with
you dickhead. Yeah, been done a bit of work with my Rolex dealer client.
Everybody want a Rolex. It'll go nice with your All Saints sweater.
I don't wear watches, man. I don't wear any kind of jewellery. If I want to tell a time, I just look up at the sun.
Get yourself a Garmin. Oh, fucking Crocodile Dundee over here. Yesterday I filmed with Paul Smith, who were doing some more training over in Hull.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, me and Danny Mitchell were over there, so it's good. It was good, mate. What have you been up to? Been eating out this week?
Yeah, you know, I saw him get submitted. That was quite funny, Paul.
He did
he got well and truly tapped, didn't he? But I was down in Wellingborough a couple of days ago. That was all right. I've not really been doing much. I'm trying to plan the next trip, upgrading some gear. You know, that's on the priority list. Need to make a will. Keep thinking that I should probably make a will at some point. Mostly because my mum's just giving me grief. But she's like, "You need a will."
Why? You know, like if you die now, where do all your millions go?
All my millions.
You got like 2.5 million followers. Who gets them?
I had to be the one to tell you this, but you don't get like a quid for every subscriber. I mean, I wish that were the case.
Right.
But,
does like Mrs. Beard get the followers then? Like I don't.
No, they're in the ether, aren't they? They're just there.
The Fugazi, man.
Yeah, they're just still there for posterity, but you don't go anywhere. But yeah, I don't know. My mum's like she worries about stuff. She's like, you need a will, and I'm like, well, come on, man. Do most people at 37 have a will? Probably not.
We never know, do you? You know, in your will, like, can you put the that stupid little car in it for me, and then when you do die, I can like set it on fire.
No, because you can just call it. So I'll give it to someone that appreciates it.
George still a little cat.
You can have all my old booted camera gear. Well, yeah, I mean, it would be an improvement on your car, George. But I know you'd smash it. I know you'd instantly crash it, so I can't give it to you. I don't know. I'll just it could be a monument to me. They could put it in the Beard Meats Food Memorial Museum. You can see.
Who's building that?
Did you say this on the last episode, or did you say it off camera?
There's a pair of his pants. There's his car.
With skids still in.
He literally quoted last week, and I don't know if we're on camera or off camera, so if said it once, well, sorry for repeating it, but he said, lads, I might buy my mum's house, right? And then set up like a Beard Meats Food. This is where Beard used to like have a wank and charge everyone £1 to come into house because your mum wants to move house, right?
I did say that.
Well,
I think that was off.
That was off air, but it was, to clarify, it was a joke. I didn't say I'm actually gonna like, who the fuck would pay for that, man? You know what I mean? Plus, it's not a very nice area. But yeah. Anyway, that's been my week. Yeah.
We've got an exciting show planned today. We're in the spirit of April Fools. We're going to do a little bit of a pranking episode. We're going to have a little bit of a chit chat about that. But first, how do we start each podcast, Adam?
A YouTube comment.
It's time for a YouTube comment from you.
Okay, so our first YouTube comment is from Jake Stanley saying, the effing back and forth with the ribbing lets everyone know that you two are great friends. This whole podcast is just basically hanging out with friends. I love it. I love it every week. Bummed I missed you, Adam, when you were in San Diego.
Oh, Jake Stanley's from San Diego.
I don't know if he's from San Diego, but he might have been there at the time when you were. I'm not sure.
Imagine if it was.
Could have been. I don't know. I thought Jake Stanley sounds like an English name, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like he's from Normanton.
Jake Stanley. I'm thinking of that scene from, is it Green Street or that football hooligan movie?
Yeah. It might be Green Street.
I don't know. But cheers, Jake. Yeah, sorry. I mean,
no, Josh hasn't seen it.
No, he's definitely.
I've seen Green Street.
That's more like the kind of thing he would see.
Danielle said to me the other day, actually.
Danielle said to me the other day.
I put a documentary on. It were that massive. It was called like the American Apocalypse. It's called. And she was like, anything you pick, it's always got to do with murders or guns. I didn't actually know what this documentary were about. And it's about like this cult of a religious cult that built like almost like a fort of like their own little fortress. And the ATF were trying to arrest them because they had like
I watched that
millions of illegal drugs and rounds. And she was like, how have you picked a documentary that's about killing and guns? So like that's the extent of my genre.
They kind of go hand in hand.
There probably aren't many documentaries about guns, like in the sense that
you don't necessarily have to be killed by a gun, do you? You can be killed by like a little hairy man on a river edge. You know, like
it could be with a brick or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, cheers, Jake. Sorry I missed you too. I mean, there is no. A lot of people ask me, post the schedule. There's no schedule. You've seen this podcast. People know how ill-planned everything I do is. But yeah, I found San Diego quite very, very. The weather was nice.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, I didn't really go into the voice broke. Didn't really go into the city, downtown. But it's nice having a city on the waterfront. Cities are always nice, aren't they?
Yeah, you got SeaWorld there as well. If you want to go see a big whale.
No, I'm good.
All right, yeah, yeah. Thanks, Jake. He sometimes like lets go of the facade of it when he's nice to. Very occasionally, Adam is nice to me, even though we rip each other. Like
I'm always nice to you.
No, when you said about when we were on about knocking each other out, and you were like, I'd never hurt you, mate.
I wouldn't. Obviously,
like,
I'd be if we're in a scenario, right? We're in a hostage scenario, right? Say George finally snaps. he pulls out his weapon. He says, "Right, one of you's dying. I'll take the bullet. You got a kid. You're younger than me. It's just a basic mathematical equation, isn't it?" So
get your will sorted first, because if you can't say that, then fucking Mrs. Beard of the Ridge.
I'll give you the Sony A7 III. We got any more?
Yeah, we've got a comment from. I don't know if they've changed their YouTube handle to this, but they're called CS.
Oh,
fucking Colonel Seaman. There's people on Twitter going, "What does CS mean? What does CS mean?"
You've ruined
the real one. The real ones know. But Adam's misery somehow made this more enjoyable.
Well, I'm happy.
That could go on any episode, to be fair.
Could be really, yeah. People that come over from the YouTube channel, but that fucking hell, he's not quite chipper today, is he? It's much more fun making YouTube videos. That's my excuse. Anyway, is that it?
We've got one final comment from Johnny Wade. Random question, and no offence to George, but where did the Mickey Mouser R.I.P. Mike go? Is he still behind the scenes, or did Beard sack him for misconduct and throw a chair at him? and throw a chair at him for his fart questions to Kate Ovens.
Mike, we had to sack him. He's a Tory. Can't be. No, I'm joking. No, Mike is a very talented, reasonably talented videographer. So he relocated back to his hometown of Liverpool because he was missing it very much. And he's now, we like to say that he's cut it out if I'm not allowed to say. He's now expecting a baby. So he wanted to. I think he wanted a more secure job, doing something meaningful and economically viable. Not producing a podcast in an old mill in Morley that makes no money.
that pays zero.
Yeah, but we love you, Mike. Yeah, I think Mike does actually listen sometimes, doesn't he?
He does occasionally, yeah. And he's still in the chat. Like,
Yeah, he's good for ideas.
Yeah, he does. He is.
Bounce some ideas off him and stuff like that, yeah.
Imagine if we kicked him out of the chat, he'd be fucking devastated.
But
wouldn't he?
he would, yeah. But it's good as well because for some reason, even though he pretends that he's not into like youth culture and whatnot, he's always like, he knows all you, well, everyone knows KSI, right? But all these kind of YouTube celebrities that nobody really knows. He knows them all. He's like, oh yeah, I know this guy. I know this. So he keeps us in tune with the, with young people and whatnot.
Yeah, we don't know any of them people. And he fancies the lady from Chicken Shop Dates, don't he? So,
yeah, but you can't. What you criticising him for that?
no. I forget that we've got to maintain Adam's brand. Moving on.
My brand. I didn't say it. Do you have to be single to go on it? Because it's all a facade, isn't it? It's not really a date.
It's more like an interview, really.
But I think, don't you have to, so that it works in that format, don't you have to be single because it's implied that you're kind of flirting and stuff? Oh no?
I can't say I've ever watched one.
No, I've never watched from the full way. I've watched like bits. I saw the one that Louis Theroux was on. Was it Louis Theroux did it?
Well, he's not single, obviously.
No.
Oh, so that answers my question. Moving on.
It's time for a YouTube comment from you.
Right, Josh.
Yeah, so on with the show, as they say. But before we start on the April Foolsy thing, you put a... did you see on Twitter? You see on Twitter this week? You did, because you put it in the chat. That Mr. Beast gave a car away.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think he gave it away this week. What I actually said in the chat was, for some reason, I don't know why, have you noticed like how Elon Musk has taken over Twitter? Like it's a fucking war zone. Like nothing, like I'm seeing all the shit and I'm like, I don't even like all these things. I'm seeing videos of people dying and get hit by cars, but like shootings, and I'm seeing stuff like, I'm seeing Fessel. I don't want to fucking see that shit. I don't follow it. But anyway, yeah, I saw somebody had taken to TikTok, I think, from the look of the video, but then they'd put it on Twitter, right? Saying like somebody that was in a Mr. Beast video, right? And in this video, he was in a restaurant, I think, and he had tipped her his car, right? So obviously I don't like the idea of people did charity for likes and all that, but the person who received the car was then on TikTok like, gee, thanks, Mr. Beast, because he given her like a Volvo or something. It wasn't a Volvo, but some kind of like, I think she thinks she's getting a Ferrari or something. Yeah. And she got like a Ford. And she's like, oh my, this is so great. I'll really enjoy this. And I'm thinking, can you imagine complaining that you've just been given like a 20 grand cash asset which you could sell? If you don't like the car, just sell it.
That can't have been her.
I think it was, wasn't it? Did I misunderstand it? Or was it?
I don't believe, I mean, it might be, it might well have been her, but...
Should we get on? Yes. Is there a track that we can get back onto today?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think people, so far we're doing all right. People expect this now.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of hard on ourselves with like the formatting of podcasts. When you listen to like Joe Rogan, it's just 3 hours of him just waffling.
Do you know what hasn't gone up yet either? The one that, as of when we're recording this, that one that you're normally the main host, and I said, back the fuck off, I'm being the main host today. So I don't even know what that's going to look like. I don't even want to watch it.
There's been a couple of comments. In fact, let me have a quick look.
It's on Patreon, right?
It's like on Patreon, so we've got a couple of comments.
Early access. You fucking paywall bastard.
You mentioned before that we don't make any money. It costs us so much money to make this podcast. Oh yeah, so the only comment that we actually did get, there were a couple on Patreon, but Gregor Siwek, he was the guy that won this t-shirt. And
he's always commenting, right? Because I always say that he sounds hard. He sounds like a wrestler or something.
Yeah, he's put, as a professional chef, Josh, your description of how to make pate doesn't sound like it would be fit for human consumption. Don't know where you got that method from. Overall, lovely. Love most of the choices apart from the sushi and chocolate cheesecake. This has been really fun, and Adam should plan more episodes.
No, Gregor, why'd you have to say that?
I think you should.
Anyway, I think this one was my idea, wasn't it? I didn't plan it, but like the genesis of the idea came from my brain.
It did actually, yeah. We did his first breaking bread planning session last week. As a management board.
After 70 episodes, finally the board made.
So what we decided to do was, as April 1st has just passed, and I'm sure there's been some hilarious corporate fails on the internet, we thought we'd pick out some of the best ones that we could find on the internet and discuss them. And Adam has done 30 seconds of planning when he had a shit this morning, and he's going to tell us the first corporate fail that he found.
I don't know if you call it a fail. It's a.
Oh, and also when we sat down, I'd made myself a coffee, put it down on the table, and Adam thought we were going to try and prank me.
Oh man, I'm so devastated that didn't work.
Tell him what you did. Tell him what you did.
So Josh was like, I don't really do anything, right? I just turn up here and I just sit here and start talking. But he was in there and everything was rigged up. He's in there talking to George. And he'd left his coffee here. So we've got, if anyone saw it, we did an episode ages ago. We got a bunch of bugs, edible bugs. So I'm like, I'm going to put a bug in his coffee and he'll drink it halfway through. That'll be a great April Fool's prank. And it was floating, right? But I managed to get it to absorb sufficient water that it stopped floating for momentarily. And I was like, oh, this is going to be ace. And then he came in. And then as he came in, it just went like, bloop. And he's like, what the fuck is that in my drink? So it ruined I'm sorry about that. I could have planned it better, maybe figured out some way to weigh it down. But yeah, anyway, so I'm doing what? Yeah, these are like, oftentimes April Fools, you get companies getting on the act and they tell you they're going to do things which turn out not to be the case. It's just an April Fool's joke. So I try to pick ones that were kind of in some way related to me. So this first one is Hulu. Do you know we don't really have them in England. It's like a Netflix thing, but in America, right? In 2017, they announced the launch of Who, which is and it has a little tagline, TV abbreviated, in which they were launching a new service that would condense shows into 8-second long versions of the show. So if you want to watch, I don't know, Battlestar Galactica, but you don't, I don't know why I said that, but you don't have to watch the full 30-minute episode. You could watch an 8-second summary. Right, but of course it was not real. It was simply poking fun at the fact that our attention spans as humans are reducing, apparently now to 8 seconds.
I believe that.
Yeah, that's why TikTok exists, right?
I wish they could do that for YouTube videos. I watched this little hairy fella make videos on, and he eats. But if I could just condense the introduction, because what he does is 4 times in the introduction he tells me exactly what he's eating, where he's eating, and how long the time limit is in the previous records. But he'll say it first in a vlog setting, then he'll say it with the manager in a vlog setting, and then he'll sit down and repeat it again and say it.
You clearly haven't watched like any of my recent videos because I barely even get the time right. I'll sit down there and then tell him. But anyway, like that's testament to the support of my loyal subscribers that they're willing to endure that. And I don't know, what was the last video? 1.3 million views in 24 hours. I was a PR record breaking. I'm gonna for stuff like that. I'm gonna bring in some confetti. I should have done that. I just went, yeah. Thank you for everyone that watched that one. Yeah. But yeah, fuck you. What's the next one?
Right, so I've got one. Oh, so those that like, I was going to plan on pranking you guys for starters. So this episode was actually going to be Paddy Pimblett joins us in the studio, and I were going to have the thumbnail. I were going to do everything and be like, this was going to be the one where we had Paddy the Baddie in, and then obviously you get into it and it's not there. And I thought that's fucking hilarious.
It's not. Luckily, George and I are in tune with the kids. Yeah, the vox populi, right? And we knew that if we did that, then people would get very mad, obviously, because people, oh yeah, and it wouldn't be a payoff where people are like, oh, that's funny. They'd be like, raging. So we didn't do that. We talked them out of it. Fortunately,
I am going to do it on Instagram though. I'm going to post like a little like Paddy's coming in, on April 1st.
Just post that picture of that bloke that looks a bit like me with Conor McGregor. Again, yeah, because people fall for it every time.
Yeah, true, they do. Right. So I was doing my research. So apparently there's a radio station that caused an entire cliff to collapse into the ocean with a prank. So in 2001, a DJ in Brighton said that the replica of the Titanic would be seen on Beach Head in Sussex. So hundreds of people went to Beach Head to obviously view this thing because they didn't want to miss it. So they drove from miles to check it out. Later, the Coast Guard said that they found a large crack in the cliff face, and it was caused by the weight of how many people were waiting there to see this Titanic replica. A few days later, the actual cliff collapsed.
Well, it's a good job it didn't collapse while they were on the cliff.
How bad's that?
Oh, imagine like the remorse you would feel. Well, I would hope it
You
would
say
feel.
you won't even lose sleep. You sick fuck.
Anyway, next one is 2017. Burger King. I like the idea of this one. Burger King kicked off April Fool's Day with a goofy internet ad for Whopper flavored toothpaste, which people were excited to try out. Probably not most people, but weird people. But it turned out to be a phony. It wasn't real.
Fugazi.
Yeah. But I'd try that. I had some years ago. Mrs. Beard, she bought me some bacon flavored toothpaste, which was actually all right. It's a bit like when you clean your teeth at night. It feels a bit wrong that you're doing that and then you've got this taste of bacon in your mouth as you go to sleep. But
What's you used it like? You didn't like just middle of the day go, oh yeah, it tastes like bacon. You actually used it.
well, I mean, I'm not going to waste, am I?
Oh, that's grim. That.
Well, it was all right. I quite like the taste of bacon. What is it about mint that obviously it makes your breath minty fresh, right?
Yeah.
So it feels right that most toothpaste is mint flavored. But if you recall, when you're a kid, you get all types of flavored toothpaste.
Yeah, but it's not like fruity or mint. It's not like
Admittedly, it's not bacon.
cheeseburger.
We didn't have fucking chunks of bacon in there, lad. Like, it was just bacon, synthetically bacon flavored. But yeah, I used it. Sue me. What's the next one?
Have you ever done any April Fool's pranks?
Yeah, well, yeah, but not like normally quite cruel. I did one this one. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on the podcast before. Did I tell you like years ago? Police turned up at my house, right? When I lived with my mum, at home. Because where I lived, somebody had been like trying to get women into their car, and they were driving a Mini, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you this?
You did, yeah.
Did I say on the podcast?
I think you might have done, but
Well, I'll
it.
quickly repeat it, right? So somebody had been reported trying to get women into his car, right? But and I used to drive a Mini, right? And it was a Mini with like Pac-Man decals on the roof, right? It's a bright yellow Mini. So the cops come from my house one day, like, can we question your son? My mum was like, oh my God, yeah, of course. So I'm sat there like, what's going on? Like, were you on York Road? People from Leeds might know that. At this time of day, and I'm thinking, actually, I probably was, because I'd gone to the gym just by chance. They're like, oh, okay, because we got this report of this happening. And yes, a guy is trying to get women into his car, driving a cream Mini. And I just kind of went, my Mini's like bright yellow with Pac-Man decals. And do you think they might have mentioned that and not said it's cream? But anyway, long story short, they were like, yeah, we just got to check, everyone that owns a Mini in the area. I'm like, oh, sweet, yeah, cool. So anyway, that was a couple of weeks before April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day rolls around. And I text my mum, I'm like, Mum, I've been arrested. They said that they think I'm the guy that's done it. Do you remember that? They questioned me a few weeks ago. I said I'm in like Millgarth police station or whatever, or Killenbeck. I can't remember where I said I was. I said, I need some money for bail. Can you come down and help me? And I'm just like sending like crying emojis and stuff like that. So my mum calls me. She's like, Adam, oh my God, what's going on? And I kept it going for maybe about a minute. And then I'm like, Mum, what date is it? She's like, what do you mean what day is? I'm like, what's the date today? She's like, oh, you bastard. Because she's like really gullible, my mum. So she fell for it. But I did that. And then a couple of years ago, when we lived at the old house, I heard Lynn's coming and I just pretended that I was unconscious. So when she came to the top of the stairs, I was just lying there. Like, she was like, Adam! And I was like, April Fool's. And she was like, yeah, smacking me and stuff. That's the only two that spring to mind.
I can't imagine him being that fun. Can you?
Yeah.
I can't imagine it.
Shut the fuck up. What's your big story?
All right, so it's 2015, Manchester Police Department in the UK decided they were going to April Fool's everybody. And they did a tweet saying, know someone in prison, you can get them released early by voting for them on here. The prisoner with the most votes will also win a holiday.
That's got like a Running Man vibe to it. You ever seen Running Man?
No.
Of course you haven't seen Running Man.
Have you seen Jackass 4D?
No.
But imagine that. Imagine if you're like a popular prisoner and you get all the votes, everyone's going mental.
I mean, I feel like there should be some ramifications for doing something like that now.
I think that's good. I think
it's a lot. But I mean, aren't there a couple of police forces who over the years have, like on Twitter and stuff, done stuff like that where they're poking fun at things?
I think some police forces put articles out just to provoke more
White people.
to my people up. Yeah, I've seen some headlines recently where I'm like, you're doing this for the clicks, man. You put in this prison, like I've seen prisoners with like, go on Facebook, right? Follow West Yorkshire Police, and they'll put a mugshot up of somebody like
I don't like where this is going.
I don't know. I have to cut this out. But they'll put a mugshot up of like somebody with like a fucking half their ear missing, saying this guy's like reportedly on the run. And you go in the comments, and there's like people, like the funniest people on the internet are in those comments taking the piss out of the people with like half an ear. You know, with like one-liners and stuff. Like it's the best place on the internet.
It wasn't too bad. I thought I was going to go.
Well, there were another one, but I thought if I say that,
okay.
I will get us like cancelled.
Chill. Am I?
You're go, mate.
Yeah. Next one. Sorry, I like the idea of this one. Sun Life. They're called AXA Sun Life now, aren't they? Insurance company. I think they're English or British. The article here that I got says we've all heard about celebrities and athletes that insure their body parts, from Miley Cyrus's tongue, which is apparently insured for $1 million, to Bruce Springsteen's voice for $6 million, or even a 21 million premium on Kim Kardashian's bum. Didn't know that. How can you insure your ass?
Which
Anyway.
part, like the whole or like the cheeks?
It's best not thinking about it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, so Sun Life in 2016, they announced that they were going to, complete with a video, which I could probably send you, George, if you need it. They announced beard insurance for the bearded man who is protective of his facial fuzz. They announced that they were going to offer that. There was no quotation for that. I imagine the premium that you pay might vary depending on how good your beard is. So if you had something like George, you'd be paying a $5. If you had something like me, you're probably going to be paying £2 premium or something. But it turned out to not be real, obviously, because you could just shave it off and do a massive insurance con job.
I suppose that's like any other insurance job, isn't it? Like cars going, set your car on fire, somebody arsoned my car.
Arsoned?
Lose you.
I'm not sure that it's
Lose your phone, get a new
not
phone.
sure arsoned is a verb.
Google it. It's definitely, it is.
I arsoned it last night. It doesn't sound right. I wonder how that works, like insuring body parts, especially a voice. That's not even like a. You could insure your vocal cords, but how can you insure a voice? That's kind of an intangible thing, isn't it? And especially if you get older, could you not make a claim because my
Sounds
voice
like
is
you work for the insurance company. That sounds like a little fucking creepy little way around. Well,
my dad used to. My dad's whole life was spent in insurance, and I did some occasional part-time work for him. So I have a little bit of knowledge of the industry, but not a great deal.
That's the bullshit. That's why it annoys me that you have to pay such a premium, and then whenever you need to claim on an insurance, they come out with shit like that.
Yeah, try to get off the. I'm a bit phlegmy today. Yeah, they do. But I mean, that's insurance. You're gambling on.
Fart. What was that noise?
Oh, me laughing.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the next one?
All right. So in 2001, Hooters server Jody Berry from Florida won a contest wherein the server who sold the most beer could win a Toyota.
Goodness me.
Yeah. So when Berry went to her car, she was.
That's like a Mr. Beast giveaway. Fucking
yeah.
Toyota. Who wants one of those?
Like I'm winding it back.
All right, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's not. You've ruined it anyway. When she got to her car, she was given a Yoda doll from Star Wars. Do you get it? A toy Yoda.
Oh, that's really mean. Because she probably tried really hard that day.
She was so angry that she hired a lawyer and sued the restaurant owners for a breach of contract and fraudulent misrepresentation, according to USA Today.
Did she win?
The two parties later settled for an undisclosed amount.
I'm happy for it, especially because it's Hooters, man. Like, fuck Hooters.
For a toy Yoda. I get it. I was like,
It's a good joke, but like, yeah, you could if you're actually actively making people sell stuff to then be rewarded by a toy Yoda. You're gonna get in trouble there, aren't you? Oh, yeah, it's me.
it's like have we talked about this? The guy who sued Pepsi for the jet.
Yeah.
This Dude, Where's My Jet?
Yeah.
That's a good documentary.
I am watching.
Have you seen it?
No, but it doesn't surprise.
Have you not seen it? Have you not seen it? Yeah, oh, you fucking wankers.
I think the only reason you watched that is because you thought it was a fucking sequel to Dude, Where's My Car? I'm 100% certain of that's the reason you watched it. Shut the fuck up anyway. In 2015, ASOS, which I only recently found out is
ASOS.
Whatever.
Not ASOS.
ASOS.
It's a fucking...
The clothing brand. Well, clothing.
You're making me swear again. We said we were going to stop swearing.
Oh, yeah. We'll get demonetized. Right, you're going to have to beef them all out.
No.
Anyway, it's an acronym. I can say it how I want. Or is it an initialism? I don't know. Well, anyway, I only recently found out that stands for As Seen on Screen. That was the original name of the brand because it was stuff that you would see on a TV show. Yeah. Anyway, in 2015 they launched clip-on man buns, which is that you could imagine somebody doing that. So it was one of the few that actually conned people. And I think it doesn't say it here, but I think I remember that happening because I think I remember loads of people tagging me in it. Because at the time, that was back when I first started the channel, just before I started the channel actually, I had long hair and I would sometimes wear it in a bun or a partial bun. And I think loads of people like that I know, friends and whatnot, had tagged me in it. And I think it was actually listed there, and if you try to buy it, then it would tell you it was an April Fool's. So they fully committed to it, I think.
That's good, that.
But yeah, do you think you could pull one of those off?
No. So
I'm gonna make one.
I was in Bradford the other day, and I saw this. I went to get some fuel, and a van pulls in, and it was like, I think it was called like the gentleman's removal service, or like a gentleman's removal service, or something. They're trying to be prestigious,
right? I get it.
And I looked up, and I thought that's a fucking odd name, that. So I was walking in, and I looked over, and the guy filling the van up, I hope he sees it actually. He had this like shaved sides and this proper shit man bun. It looked horrendous. And I'm like, that's not very gentlemanly. I thought he'd been like a little 3-piece and he's like in scraggly clothes and a fucking shit man bun. In the passenger seat were his mate who was doing like the delivery service with. All windows are up and he's got a tab hanging out of his mouth and he's just like smoking away in this van. And I'm like, there's nothing gentlemanly about these guys.
Well, first of all, I want to distance myself from this guy because I quite like man buns, right? And also, I mean, they might not have even been on shift. They might not be in their contract. They've got to look gentlemanly at all times. What do you think is going to be a tweed suit or something?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I think I don't know why people are against man buns. I often, if I can't be asked and I don't want to put a hat on, I'll often put my hair in a bun. My thing right now is partial buns. So if you've seen me out and about, you might see me in like that Tom Cruise kind of Last Samurai style thing.
Oh yeah.
I've got a bun at the top. And then because it's too long, I don't know why I have it. I like having long hair, but it's like it's like wildly unmanageable. You can't really do anything with it, especially if it's like really straight like mine and pretty fine.
Yeah,
I don't mean fine as in like Jackie will like Reet Petite fine. I mean like fine as in it's thin. It's not like thick. I don't know what I'm talking about. Having long hair is hard.
So you're gonna keep it or are you gonna shave it off?
I keep thinking I want to get like a mullet, but I'm not sure Mrs. Beard is into it. I think she likes the long hair. Or I don't think she likes the fact that just means that I'm going to be sexually unappealing to everyone. I don't know. Hard to figure it out. But anyway,
let's just stick to what it's like now, mate. It looks good. Don't mull it. Don't.
I feel like if I were to change it, it would create too much of a. Whatever you change about your appearance, there's always some kind of backlash on YouTube. Like, I liked it better before. It's okay. I'll put a wig on then. Anyway, go on. Right, have you got another one?
I haven't. Have you got any more?
I think I had maybe one or... People could be thinking, wait a second, they had like a board meeting discussing ideas. This is what they came out with. I got this one. I knew you would love this one. I'm glad that I didn't forget this. In 2019, dating app Tinder announced that it was launching height verification. So it would, by some means, verify if you claim to be, as I do, 5'10", and it turned out you were 4'8" or something, you wouldn't get the verified. They wouldn't verify it. Obviously, it turned out to be a fallacy. But yeah, I mean, why would you lie about your height? That implies that a lot of people are lying about their height.
Yeah, but men lie about a lot of things, don't they? That's like the old joke. Like
I've never understood
6
that.
inches and all that.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, if I were going to lie about
you underestimate
my weapon, I would undersell it.
Yeah.
Right? So that
under
way,
promise, over deliver.
That way, they might be thinking, well, his personality is they would never think this, but like, his personality is decent enough that like I'm going to let him off, and then they'd be expecting 3 inches of magic, and they get 4.5. I've never understood that though. I saw that. We probably shouldn't get onto it because it's like I think it's a pretty. It could be construed as a very misogynist podcast, but have you seen that Whatever podcast? I keep seeing it on Twitter. I don't know why. I don't follow him. But it's like, I was talking to George about it. It's like a dude or several dudes, and they interview women about... it's a dating podcast, right? But I saw one clip, and there was like there was a lady on there I think she said she was like 5'2", and she said she would date no, but a man had to be 6'3" or larger. And I thought, that's just going to look weird, man. Like, it's like, I don't get having high ideals anyway.
No.
That's like, would you? I would definitely. I mean, if I were single, right? Just in case Mrs. Beard's listen. I wouldn't have any problem dating a woman taller than me. What's the big deal?
It depends how tall, I guess, because like you wouldn't want to date a lady that's 6'4".
Why? Because that implies that you care about what other people think. You don't need people.
No. Well, maybe you would. Like, maybe you would. But like, I've met a lady that's 6'4", and I'm like, fuck that. She's a swimmer, like an Olympic swimmer, and I'm like, whoa. But if you were like dating her, like, I don't even know.
Wait, what do you mean? You were like, whoa, because aren't you 6'2"?
Yeah, but even
you commonly tell me you're 6'2".
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't often look up to people, and I looked up, and I'm like, wow. So like, if you were like trying to give her a hug, you'd just be like in a fanny. You just,
like, yeah. You are determined to get my career ended, aren't you?
You would.
You'd be in a. I knew I shouldn't have brought that up. I just knew. I knew it'd go somewhere like that. Right. Anyway,
is that section? No, but do you know what I mean? Like, it would.
It wouldn't bother me, but my standards aren't that high. Oh, like that. They're not that high. They're not. No, what I mean is they're not that particular. Is what I mean. They're not that particular.
But there's personal preference in the end of the day. Like, you're attracted to what you're attracted to.
Yeah, but I find that odd. I think it must be like is it an evolutionary thing? You reckon? Like, it's like women think that a man has to protect them, and if they are tall, like they'll protect. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that's swinging now, and it's so like the old school like
swinging. That's a different issue altogether.
like the man's a provider, and women need to be cared for. But like 2023, independent women.
Yeah, that's what we believe. That's our company line. We're not saying that men are protectors or anything. I just find it odd that like people have. That you would want like a man a specific height or a woman that's a specific height. I don't get it, man.
Well, if he's tall and big that way, proportionally, shouldn't he be bigger in all aspects?
Yeah, they might want a massive willy then.
So no, that's science. Everyone knows that's not true. That's not the way it works, man.
Yeah, I bet he's got a massive dong, I bet Adam's got a fucking piece on him.
Clip that, Josh. I do. I'm happy to proliferate that information.
They're like weird little nerdy dudes that like, you've just somehow cracked the mold, but like otherwise you're just that weird little nerdy dude with a massive dick. Proper goer. That's what I reckon.
I've got this theory. How long have we been going, George? About 30 minutes.
40.
I've got this theory that it descends into chaos after 30 minutes. So maybe we need to condense these things. I can confirm I don't have a massive wang. If anything, it's probably slightly shorter than average. But I am at a bit of a disadvantage because I'm circumcised, in case anyone wanted to know. So I lose maybe half an inch from loose skin. That's one thing you got to worry about as well. You never know how big a foreskin is. Why are we talking about this? What have we got?
You got onto it.
Yeah,
but once you get some blood flow, the skin like.
I don't want to get into it. What's the next thing?
So next we're going to have a look at some different pictures of foreskins to determine the length of foreskins of different. Because some people have got. My mate Connor, if you're listening, he's got like a really long foreskin. It's like, the end of a balloon, like when you've tied a knot on a balloon and it hangs on the...
Oh, man.
Connor, send a picture of your foreskin, mate, whichever camera.
Lovely.
Do you remember me telling you like a couple of weeks ago, there was that guy that watched with his son and his son was like 8 or something?
Yeah, but we always say that it's like age restricted. We
need a disclaimer. We don't have a disclaimer.
Put a foreskin disclaimer before this section. We're going to do a next section.
A forward, if you will. Right. Oh man, we are geeks, man. Come on, what are we talking about?
So George did us a little section. We're going to do guess the song.
Guess the song. What's that got to do with April Fool's Day?
I don't know.
The comedy song?
For Patreon users only, because we can't show
All right, is this a Patreon
music.
exclusive section?
Yes, we can't show copyright music, can we?
You boys and your paywalls. You can have to do like 7 seconds or less. You get away with it.
No, we get pulled for you get pulled for everything. If we do like multiple of them, it just like blows up.
All right.
So Patreons, I hope you enjoyed that.
Back to the main show.
All right, so we've just did a little section there.
We're back. Don't subscribe on Patreon. It's not worth it.
We just did a little segment on Patreon. But now we've got Breaking Beard. Breaking Beard.
Okay, so this week on Breaking Beard, I think we need to decide now that you have to get all your answers right to be safe, because no one's going anywhere on the scale.
we don't even have
forever.
There is no forfeit though. We don't even assess decide what the forfeit's going to be.
We did put it over to the audience to say you guys come up with a punishment, but
nobody cares enough.
So, yeah, if you want to see these guys do anything as a punishment, get it in the comments. So this week is just true or false questions.
Okay.
And they're all a bit random. They're not specially selected for any person. So who wants to start?
I think I started last week now.
I can't remember. I'll go first then, yeah.
Josh?
Yeah.
Okay. Spaghetto is the singular form of the word spaghetti. True or false?
False. I do not believe it.
Actually true.
Fuck off!
It says, in general, Italian nouns that end in O are single in nature, whereas those that finish in I are plural. Spaghetti is made using a large amount of spaghetto.
My fault. I should have said it in an Italian accent and then I'd have got it right.
Spaghetto. Right.
I think I would have said true, but it's still funny. Anyway, go on.
Does that mean I can't win? He literally just
Yeah,
said
you've lost.
You lose.
You're going down.
I win by default. It's like Penosa, right? Like a shootout.
Well,
so I've got to get this right, otherwise.
All right, okay, yeah. Let's just wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay, South America is larger than Antarctica. True or false?
False.
It's true. So you're both going down. That's it. That was Breaking Beard.
Right, okay, we both go down a place.
Is that it? We're going to save questions for next one?
No, there's more. We'll just do them anyway.
Right, quick fire then, because we've been rolling for ages. We've got to do another podcast yet.
Right. Pinocchio was Walt Disney's first animated feature in full colour. True or false?
Yeah, I'm going to go true.
False. It was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I knew that as well.
Of course you did.
Okay, Adam. Chelsea is the oldest established football club in London. True or false?
False.
False. It's Fulham.
Did know that one actually. Yeah.
Ooh.
We should give an honorary mention if we're going to talk about Fulham to friend of the show, Kate Ovens, big Fulham fan.
Have they won the league or something?
No, just
because
I mentioned Fulham.
Hi, Kate. I'm sure you tune in every week. I love what you do on the internet.
She might do, you never know.
Fantastic.
She's always travelling around, man. I mean, like, what else are you going to be doing? What, like, listen to what?
Okay, Josh. The capital of Australia is Sydney. True or false?
False.
False.
Brisbane, isn't it?
Canberra.
Oh, shit.
Is it Canberra?
Canberra.
Canberra.
I don't know how you say it.
That sounds like the person, like Canberra, like Cameron Berra or something. Anyway.
Okay, final one. In Scotland, the unicorn is their national animal.
sorry, I just interrupted you. Sorry.
In Scotland, the unicorn is their national animal.
No, false.
It's true.
Get the fuck out of town.
It's true.
Don't believe it. Their national anthem. The national anthem's got to be like sheep, surely. Did I say
Wales,
anthem
innit?
again?
That's Wales.
I just said Wales.
Yeah, you know you're right. I don't fucking know, man. This has gone too long.
There we go. That was Breaking Beard.
Do we even
In
know
a
like
rushed fashion.
what the consequences of that are? We are both in the
We
same
stay in
place.
the same place this
No,
week.
you both
Both.
going down.
All right.
It's
Okay.
going to have to be.
Is it a sliding scale? I haven't watched them back for ages. I was still...
Anyway, man, like
Adam's like all the way safe, I think, and you're like 2 down.
Right, okay. Naturally, if we're going to finish the podcast, we need to finish on a festival.
stop you right there, Sonny Jim, because before you do, I actually spotted. I don't know how. Like I said, it's like Elon Musk thinks not the like Twitter's just chaos. I came across a festival despite hating it, but I thought I would read it because it's one that doesn't descend into complete vulgarity, right? And I found it quite entertaining. So before you get on talking about dicks and bodily fluids, I thought I would just I'd tell you this one that I saw. I also thought it might give me some points with you for kind of looking like I've been prepared for an episode. Give me a sec, George. I don't know.
Yeah, you're timely with your.
Well, I totally forgot about it. I was hoping you would miss the festival thing, and then we could just.
It's a nice part of it. We've got a jingle and everything.
Mother flipper. Oh, here we go. I've got it. It's cool. So I played in a fairly successful indie band in the 90s, and we had one big hit. I've never told anyone before, but it's based on the theme to Rent a Ghost, which I liked because it could be true. But I then went into the comments to see if anyone could figure out who the band was, and the general consensus was it was the band Space with that song Neighborhood. You might be too young to remember it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Well, if you're interested, yeah, go listen to it because I think it could be true. Could be one of the few festivals that is actually true.
Ah, wow. Well, thanks for bringing that to the table. George, have we got any festivals?
Yeah, we have one festival.
Oh,
It's not. Don't give me that one about the person that was trying to have a baby, because I'm not even buying it. It's disgusting. it's both like disgusting and not true.
it's a good news story.
All right.
It's a good news section of the podcast.
I'm not the gaffer here. Go on. He's the boss.
Can you start reading these, Josh? Because I just feel dirty reading this. I feel physically sick.
Tell us what it is, George.
Right. We were unsuccessfully trying for a baby when living with the in-laws. Heard them shagging one night and found used condom in the bin. I turkey basted and now have a daughter.
You know the worst part about that
That's
is
a good news section.
the worst part about that is that that's not true. If it were to be true, that person should be criminally convicted. If even if it's just, then it means that somebody's made that up, thinking like it's humorous, man. It's not like why would you? I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Maybe it's just outside my.
It's weird how
comprehension.
different people can like interpret things that they read. Because I read it as a good news story. You know, like a cat gets stuck up a tree and then fire brigade go and take the cat down and everyone claps and they go. You know, like somebody gets like a little medal. It's a good news story. It feels good, doesn't it?
The incest is a good news story.
Nah, it's not incest. It's the in-laws. So it'd be like.
Was it in-laws? Well, either way, it's just I don't want to talk about it much more. Right? Honestly, I mean, it's just odd, man. Like no. Can we wrap this up? Thanks for watching. Catch you next week. Peace. Is that good, George? Yeah.